Hello and welcome to another episode of Ctrl Alt, dammit. Today is Monday, May the 13th, and today we've got stories about Sony, Steam, God of War Ragnarok, Electronic Arts, Fallout, Resident Evil 9, and Hades 2. It was a bit of a slow news weekend, so I did have a little bit of trouble scraping up some stories, but I was able to put together some interesting stuff. So I hope that you enjoy today's video. Thank you very much for taking some time out of your day to watch, and let's get into it. Coming in hot on the trails of the Helldivers 2 Steam debacle, the upcoming PC port of Ghost of Tsushima has been delisted on Steam and other PC storefronts in nearly 200 countries and territories. Ghost is primarily a single-player game, but a post-launch co-op multiplayer mode seems to be the issue when it comes to requiring a linked PSN account. Somewhere along the line, no one at Sony realized, and if they did, failed to take into consideration that there are so many areas without access to the PlayStation Network. Even after changing their mind about requiring Helldivers 2 players to link to a PSN, it still remains delisted in those areas. I'm unsure why Sony seems so intent on pulling players into the PSN and at what point they'll realize that they're only losing money and further tarnishing their reputation by preventing potential players from having access to titles. As someone who enjoys being able to play PlayStation games on PC, I'm concerned how this will all end up playing out in the long run. I would really hate to see Sony take their PC port ball and go home. Ghost of Tsushima is set to launch on PC on March 17th for $59.99. In more Sony PC port news, after Ghosts, it looks like God of War Ragnarok will be the next game to get the PC port treatment by Nixes and Sony. This is currently unconfirmed, so take it with a grain of salt, but there's a good possibility that a Ragnarok PC port will be announced sometime this month at the rumored PlayStation Showcase. Ragnarok has no online features, so the assumption is that, like other single-player releases like The Last of Us, linking your PSN will not be required. This is good news because potential players will only need to be concerned with the ridiculous amount of backseating the game throws at the player, instead of whether or not they'll be able to play it in their respective country or territory. In other news, EA is supposedly looking at putting ads into their AAA games. In a recent earnings call, CEO Andrew Wilson confirmed that the company is tossing around the idea of putting ads in their bigger titles, stating, "Advertising has an opportunity to be a meaningful driver of growth for us." Continuing on, "We have teams internally in the company right now looking at how we do very thoughtful implementation inside of our game experiences." Back in 2020, EA placed full-screen ads for Amazon's show The Boys into UFC 4, and there was so much backlash that they later removed it. An instance that wasn't as hated was Need for Speed Underground from 2004, which placed ads on billboards in the open world. While still in-game advertising, it was much less intrusive and almost felt natural in the environment. On the opposite end of that spectrum, they placed political ads for Barack Obama's 2008 election bid in Burnout Paradise. EA is well known for being fans of money, so we'll have to see how their fondness plays out in the next few titles. Fallout modders may be getting kicked in the shin again on May 13th when Bethesda pushes out another patch for Fallout 4. This patch seems to be focused on fixes and improvements, as well as adding some new options in-game for graphics and performance. While I imagine a good portion of the Fallout PC community just got their modded save up and running again, chances of this upcoming patch breaking it once more are high. This is Bethesda after all, and they do seem to have a knack for breaking things. Even unmodded, I was unable to play the game for more than a few minutes without hard crashing to the desktop when I had no issues prior to the next-gen patch. Based on what I've seen and the people I've spoken to, the results are mixed, but it seems for the most part the patch was welcome on console. But in addition to breaking mods on PC, it made the game run much worse, or even not at all for some. The highly anticipated Fallout London mod was postponed due to the last patch, and now with no known release date, it remains to be seen how much further this could set the team back. Let's hope Bethesda gets it right this time and leaves it alone for a while afterwards. In more rumor news, known and reliable Resident Evil leaker Dusk Golem has reported that Resident Evil 9 will take place in a fictional rural town on an island. Capcom hasn't officially announced the title yet, but it's been widely talked about since the release of Village. Golem has been sharing RE rumors for years, and many of their reports have been accurate. They recently replied to a user on Twitter that asked about the setting, stating, "A fictional rural town on an island in the Southeast Asia Sea inspired by Singapore specifically." Also in the thread, Gollum stated that the game may not have been internally delayed like they had previously reported and could still be looking to a release in 2025. What do you want to see in Resident Evil 9? If, like me, you've been spending a good bit of time with the early access build of Hades 2, you will be happy to learn that developer Supergiant Games has confirmed that the team hasn't made a true ending for the game yet, and when it does, they don't know how many runs it will take to reach it. Hades 2 in its current state already feels like much more of a game than Hades, especially when it was in early access itself. If you've already made it to, then you will know that there is currently an endpoint to what is available, but the team is working on quote-unquote many parts with a major update expected to hit later this year. I'm very excited to see how this game grows between now and then. Currently, Hades 2 is available in early access on Steam for $29.99 with an anticipated launch sometime in 2025. And that's going to do it for this episode of Ctrl Alt, dammit. Thank you very much for taking some time out of your day to watch. If you enjoyed it, and I hope you did, leave a thumbs up, drop me a comment below, and please consider subscribing so we can grow the channel and continue to bring you gaming news. Don't forget that I stream on Twitch almost daily at twitch.tv/dammittohell. Come hang out with us, join the community, get to know us. We'd love to have you there. But until we meet again on Wednesday, be safe, be sexy, touch a butt.